My bad, I was on. Hey again. How is everybody doing this evening? Thank you so much for tuning in to the season finale live stream of The Retreat. I am so happy, so excited to have, first of all, been a part of this production as the EP, to actually share some beautiful things with a wonderful cast of gentlemen. So excited to have shared something that is truly a, what's the word I'm looking for? A blessing in disguise, so to speak, for me, because I didn't think that I could do it. But with all of y'all's support, all of y'all's love, I was able to complete my very first project on my very own channel with my very own network. So I am, my heart is full. I just have to thank everybody who was a part, my beautiful cast that was a part of this production: Jeremy Copeland, King Payne, Neiman Byerly, JayTee Basquiat, Red, my therapist. Thank you so, so, so much to Joseph Williams. Shout out to the production team, those that are still present. I want to say thank you so much to True Turner with Hey Cousin Productions, as well as CJ with filmmaker CJ Productions. And I am just excited to see what we are going to be bringing to you guys in the future. And those that are no longer a part of the program, but I just still have to say thank you so much to Roger Grayson, who was a part of our beautiful production. And it was, and our photographer for our branding photos, because the shoot was amazing. And we were able to do some magnificent things. So I can only say nothing but thank you, thank you, thank you to each and every person that was a part of this project. Our sponsor, hbbmarketplace.co. Thank you so much for being a sponsor with us. And everybody that watched, everybody that commented, all the blogs that supported continuously. Thank you so much. Shout out to Abby Reviews who talked about it. Shout out to TTB Network who talked about it. And anybody else, if I'm missing you, I promise you, you just escaped my mind, but you will always be in my heart. On the season finale of The Retreat, I wanted to chronicle the last day from my viewpoint to you guys, because the last day was a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a very emotional day for all of us, because it was like you are getting ready to leave, and I don't think that the guys, the group, really digested everything that they had done, all the activities they had done leading up to that point. And they really made some breakthroughs. So, out of respect for them, I didn't want to do a episode showing everything that we filmed, because I think that it was more personal for them to learn. But I did want to show just a few activities that we did that I think could help you, with you and your friends, you and your family, to actually do, to possibly make some breakthroughs. If you guys watched the first iteration of The Retreat, Jason Dallas Presents The Retreat, then there was a challenge or an activity that we created called Tape, Tape, Tape In, where a person would have a roll of tape. They would give it to the person that they want to just strictly listen to what they had to say about them in a positive way, or maybe in a not so positive way. And they had to put the tape over their mouth and just listen to what the other person had to say. So we did that. And with the help of our therapist, Joseph Williams, he really ushered everybody in with it all. And I want you guys to just see what happened during that activity with this group, and comment and just kind of take it in, because it was some real good moments that happened. Let's take a look.
You are heard. You are seen. You are here. We feel you. We're like a brotherhood now. We care for you. We love you. And at times you don't have to give that extra official kingliness for us to acknowledge you and know what you're feeling, because then it becomes like you're hiding or you're trying to cover up something. Like, we're all here to be vulnerable and in some bad spaces, and we're gonna cry, we're gonna argue, we may wanna fight, hopefully not, but it may come to that. But you are beautiful the way you are. Everybody may not accept you, but we right here, this is judge free. I accept you for you. You don't have to put on for me. Cause I'm gonna love you like how I expect you to love me. I come to you as my real authentic self. And just because a lot of people out there think that you're not the ideal guy to be with, you don't know who's looking at you. You don't know who really wants you. And with all that extra mannerism, sometimes that could push somebody away. Some people probably who really want you and could go there with you may think you do too much, and that it may, I don't know, it could somehow conflict the relationship. So, to sum this up, I just want to say, you heard, we know you, yes she did, period. Just give us your authentic self. Because sometimes it may come off as that you're giving a character, and you may not. But some people may think that. So, for me to you, I concur. And I love you, brother. And I can't wait to see where our friendship goes from here. And that's all I want to say. Period. Okay, you can give me the tape now. Don't say nothing.
Break it off.
Oh! So I'm going to pass you the baton.
Thank you kindly. Ooh, I don't know what to do with this. Ooh.
Period.
Girl. Friend. Yeah, let's talk, friend. This type of conversation I like. So I just feel like, take the glasses off since y'all feel like I'm hiding something, okay? Yeah, why would I hide all of this? Yes, I did! Oh yeah, let me not make German out too hard. You might suffocate over here. Okay. No, honestly, I just feel like, like I really see it for you. Like I really think that you're a dope individual. And I've tried on multiple occasions to just, build a friendship or a bond with you, and I just feel like you're not open to that sometimes, or maybe you don't see it for me. You don't like the fans. You don't like the Fisher King Pain. I don't know what it is. On the show you've been called a fence rider. And I feel like sometimes you don't recognize when somebody is really, maybe you don't need no new friends, you know what I'm saying? You probably don't. You big Jeremy Copeland, you know what I'm saying? Big mega superstar, HBO star, Cinemax. But yeah, I just, it hurt my feelings the other night when we got into it because, I do care a lot about you. We did a big thing together. Even though we don't hang out all the time or talk on the phone all the time. I really think highly of you. So, I was really upset like that night when I went to bed. And when I woke up the next morning, I was, I've been catching just little vibes in the house. I don't fully feel like you're over it from the other night. But, again, if I offended you in any way that night, I just want to apologize because you were sharing something that was really deep and we should have been paying attention. But, there was liquor and high attitudes. Everybody, was on 10 that night. So I do apologize for not being, for not paying attention in that moment and trying to, relate, like trying to figure out why you're here, you know what I'm saying? It's not just about me, it's about all of us. Like you said, this is a brotherhood, this is a bond that we're forming, we're doing a big thing here also, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna go down in history, like, forever, like. So, I just don't wanna leave here feeling like, girl, there's something with us, we going back to the same city. Like I said, I love you, I think that you're dope, you're an amazing person. And, last night, whenever it happened, we've been here so damn long. it really, there was no negative energy behind it. I honestly was just trying to redirect the attention back to the therapist, like, take back the time, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys, they were trying to stop you guys from arguing, and you guys, like I said, were on 10 and didn't want to stop. Jeremy, when he has a point to make, like when he was talking to me, he said, no, don't break this up. I got this. Like sometimes you have to, like he said, we hear you, we see you, we love you, I love you. And, I just want you to know that I'm genuinely, your friend. Like, ain't no funny shit with me. I don't know how to be fake or phony. So, like I said, it did hurt my feelings because, I feel like I'm offering my friendship to people. And, anybody, when they're rejected will feel some type of way. So I just feel like you kind of rejected my friendship and my love a little bit. And it does hurt my feelings. That's it, girl. You can take the tape off. You want me to take it off? He's like, nope, COVID. Yes, I did.
I hear you and I receive that. And I accept your apology.
Yes, he did.
Woo! What's going on?
Okay, that's
Lord
all.
Jesus.
My mouth.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be able to do it. Don't feel right, do it.
Remember the people that want to do this right here. Okay.
Mr. Red, I first want to start off by saying that there are glimpses and moments that you have that I think that are very special. And I see why you are where you are in your career. I see why people gravitate towards you. I see just a great person. I think at times, maybe the way that you have become accustomed to communicating can be a bit too aggressive for others to receive. And I think for me, I want to first off say I apologize for cutting you off when you said that I was contradicting myself. I should have let you finish. I shouldn't have got on defense mode. I would also like to apologize for stepping on your bed. In that moment, I wasn't correlating that was your bed. I was just being dramatic behind you. And we just met, so you didn't know what my intention was by doing that. I just want you to also understand that we hear you and we see you. And I feel like at times you can make things about you at the moment and it takes away from our experience, which kind of like makes the whole thing kind of like, okay. But that's all. There's no beef. There's not. Yesterday you mentioned that I don't want nothing fake. There's nothing fake. I didn't wake up and was like, oh, let me just be fake because it's a new day. That's not me. I really just get over stuff. I feel like our disagreement was just that, a disagreement and a miscommunication and a breakdown on how we both like to be communicated with. And I think that I need to respect when you say this is how I want to be communicated with, and I would like the same. So if I'm communicating with you and you don't like that, I shouldn't tell you, well, this is just how I communicate. That's not fair to you. That's being dismissive. And vice versa. So,
That's right.
I accepted and I received it. And I accept the apology as well. Okay. Ooh, I wanna. What you say, Neiman here? Cause I think you said something?
No.
You said don't do me.
No, I didn't.
It's a quiet game.
Go ahead. Neiman. Okay. The Neimmeister. I've been, for one, I want to say that I really like you. I've watched you for a moment now. That's why I commented on your post when a year or so ago when we did the kickball tournament and everything. I've watched you. I see your I ain't gonna say I see. I know a lot of people that know you. I've been around a lot of people that talk or have talked about you. So I've gotten a little insight from what they've said and what I've observed from your social media, me being around you and things of that nature. And I kind of like what I see. I would love to build a friendship with you. I see that. I actually dropped the ball because that was my goal from the kickball tournament. But I just move a little differently, and I'm a little hesitant when it comes to the homosexual community, because you are in the community. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that be in the community fake as hell. And I don't care to be around those type of individuals. So I kind of dropped the ball, and it wasn't because of you. It was really like the people that you were around at the time frame, and then I just got to doing my own thing or whatever. But I always, in the back of my mind, still wanted to be a friend to you. I love the fact that you know how to love. I see that you love hard. I love your family orientedness. I respect that a lot. I want to see you grow and be a better person because I see you being so great in a lot of different areas and arenas. I see how you move. I like how you move. Keep moving the way you're moving. You're doing a great job. I'm proud of you. You've been raising your daughter. I don't know if people have told you before, but I am proud of you. You own your shit. Continue being a great guy. I just want to let you know that I see you. That's it.
I accept that and I receive that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, this is my boat boat. This is gonna be my boat now, y'all.
Like, okay, let's go.
JayTee, where do I start? First off, I am glad that I got to meet you with these experiencing situations. We've had side conversations, and we were pretty much dealing with the same things coming here. And you told me some things, I've told you some things, but I just want to say that don't let this situation that you've been dealing with define you. You're a bright guy in your mind and your skin. You talk like you got, some sense. From what I can tell, you're just like me. You love hard. We got a lot of things in common, but don't let this one person continue to tear you down like you've been allowing. This may be something I need to learn too, but from the outside looking in, I can see it for you more than me. The things that you say and do, and how you feel, like, I don't know if I experienced that, and I don't think I would stay around to deal with that kind of shit. Like, I want you to know your worth. You seem like a pretty dope guy just from knowing you for a few days. Our conversations be lit. It's almost like I've been knowing you for a long time, But overall, just stick it out. Like, keep your head up. Even with your family situation, you miss them, you love them, and they make you feel neglected sometimes. And I don't know how that feels. they don't see it, I apologize for them because they're missing out on something that's great. You're a great guy, and you know, just pray about it because God can fix it. I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are, but He can. So you got a friend in me now. You in Dallas. We're gonna thug it out. We're gonna have some fun. When you need a brother or a family, call me. We can be just that, like real talk.
Ooh, child. Baby, let me tell you something. That scene right there, it almost got me, girl. It almost got me. Taping was really a activity that came out of nowhere when I did the first iteration of the retreat. And it really shows you how people are able to cooperate just for the moment so that they can hear what the other person has to say. And when we look at the gay community, Black men, it's always hard whether they're gay or straight to hear each other out whenever we don't understand each other, whenever we don't have the ability to have conversation. Because a lot of times we come off as aggressive or hostile, and that's just from upbringing. So it was good to see how they were able to just have real moments in front of everybody. I think that I was a little choked up in the back. And I know that Joseph was just kind of watching. So I do want to get his viewpoint on watching that and then seeing it back. So let's bring Joseph up and get his thought process of what he was thinking in that moment. Y'all welcome Joseph Williams in the room. Hey, I can't hear you on mute still. Take yourself off mute.
Is my background good? You don't see it?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
You was doing a Beyonce challenge for a second. You was on mute.
Uh-huh.
So, first of all, I just want to thank you for being a part of the retreat, period, and just kind of lending your knowledge and your care for these men that you did not know. You know, just for 4 days. So when you were watching them do tape in, what was going through your mind, just kind of seeing how they were able to share real viewpoints and honest viewpoints about each other without your directive?
I saw them as human. I saw them as being full of empathy and understanding. I think I saw in how outside of us taping that they did have conversations with one another, and there were things outside of me that I was unaware of that they had engaged in when it came down to conversations and revealing who they were. Some of the assignments did help, but I think that particularly Neiman's statement, all of them actually, they just made some wonderful statements. Neiman, I feel like I saw so much that he added to everybody, and because he was kind of more inward, but I like the way he perceived everyone and the positive things that he said about his mom and connecting with family and stuff like that. So it was a beautiful thing to watch. I think I could hear my voice ever so often on those clips of me going, oh, you know. So that was beautiful. It was heartfelt. I was really overjoyed by that scene. It was gorgeous.
I felt the same way watching it because I think that Neiman kind of gave off like big uncle, big cousin, big brother vibe with everybody because he definitely was very mild mannered. And then you did work with him that we are not going to put out, but I think that it was definitely serious moments that you helped him work through and actually put in perspective for his own personal situation.
Yeah.
To see Red and Jeremy have that moment between each other, when Jeremy was expressing to Red like exactly what was going on, and then he apologized again, knowing how feisty they were in their moment with the whole foot on the bed gate. What was your first initial thought with seeing them what was seeing Jeremy talk that through?
Wow. looking back at it, you see two very strong-willed people, and it became a clash instantly. And then at one point, I felt like it was they were both having a power struggle to say, I'm that dude, I'm that dude. And that's not taken away from anybody else, because everybody was representing who they were and standing firm in that. And then we saw similar, they're not similar, but similar headstrong people just kind of having a power struggle. But just even to see Jeremy make that decision to actually apologize and admit that that was wrong, what he had decided to do. But even based on some of the statements on the show from that episode that it aired, people did feel that Jeremy was disrespected in the sense that he shared something deeply personal and people didn't hear it. So I think in Jeremy's defense in that situation, it may not have been the best approach, but Jeremy felt disrespected by sharing something deeply personal where he set the tone. Jeremy was trying to set the tone of what he came to the retreat to do. And at that moment, people were still getting acquainted and everything. So I do think that was really big of Jeremy, but he showed a lot of his big heart during the show in some of the challenges, and he was willing and ready. Like I said, my biggest regret that I'm going to take with me for a while is that I really didn't get a chance to spend time with Jeremy the way I should have and the way I would have wanted to outside of the Zooms. What he presented on the Zoom was vastly different from what I saw in the house. But then for some reason, Jeremy was somebody I felt like I needed to tiptoe to, not out of fear, but just I didn't know what he would want to, where he would want to go and where he didn't want to go. And I guess I avoided it, and I will take ownership of that. And if Jeremy is watching, if he's here, Jeremy, that's my biggest regret. And I think I've told you on numerous occasions that, I wish that I would have really connected more with Jeremy, and just hearing his interviews and, knowing who he was. I'm not sure what it was, but for some reason I didn't talk to him the way I really wanted to. And I wanted to, I was warming up to it, but I just never did it. And to this day, I'm still upset about that,
Well, I think that everybody got good time with each other. And I think that because I know Jeremy, he's always open. And I think with him being somewhat reserved, he was taking in everything. And I believe that he learned from each person as we went through the challenges or the activities.
Yeah.
But Jeremy is here. So let's go ahead and bring Jeremy up, and then maybe he can express it himself. So let's welcome Jeremy Copeland. Hey, Jeremy.
Hi. Okay, my mic is on. What's up?
Yes. Hey, so how you be doing and stuff this evening?
I'm good. I'm glad I was able to make it. I was like zooming back to the house, like I gotta make it so I can come up here, and like watch it and just kind of be in this moment. So, hey, Joseph, what's going
Hey,
on?
how you doing? How you doing? All right.
Good. The sun is setting, so it's, we're getting there.
California.
Come on, California dreaming. So, as you watched the entire season back and kind of saw yourself back, I know you have been a person to always digest and rethink your next action from how you see yourself, because you've been a part of so many productions. What do you think, if anything, that you regret from the retreat?
I actually never asked myself this question or even thought about it, because I don't really have any regrets from the retreat. I honestly feel like this is the first show or project I would say that I did where I went in with full intention, knowing what I wanted to hope to get out of. I feel like everything else, I didn't know, there was no clear direction of what was going to happen or what the intentions were from producers or what's going on. I think with this, it was very clear. And then we kind of had somewhat of a blueprint from the last retreat of like what ideally this may be. And then also the sessions with Joseph beforehand. So I think I was well equipped for this than I've ever been with any other thing. So I don't have any regrets. Besides, I wish we were there longer. But other than that, like I really don't have any regrets from the show. Like, of course, I wish I would have done things different episode 1, like when we first got there, but I'm fucking human. And that was my natural response. And I'm not gonna go into a situation trying to heal, but trying to fake the funk. And that's just really how I felt. And that's how there were times where I was like, am I gonna show that I'm upset, and should I just sit here and be quiet, or should I just really let it go? And I was like, fuck it, I'm here to grow, so we gonna let it go. We just just gonna have to pull me aside later and fix me later. But right now, this is how I'm honestly feeling, and this is what they're honestly gonna get. So it was just that for me.
I think that I know we had some sidebar conversations, and it always felt like the retreat view was like a decompressive vacation because it was thing after thing after thing after thing. You were just coming off of an injury, so I think it was kind of more of moments for you to kind of clear your head and kind of come up with your next game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you were able to learn more about yourself with kind of being so secluded where we were at?
I will have to say, and not just because y'all are sitting here, like I literally still take practices from Joseph to this day. I literally still take things I learned from the retreat, not even from what me and him did, but you hit on the nail just now before I came up here. I learn a lot by watching. I sit back, I observe. I feel like everyone's lesson is still my lesson in a sense, and I can pull from it. Maybe they just needed it to be catered to them specifically, but that doesn't mean I'm not listening and watching. And I just learned that from my mentors. Watching, you will learn so much more than being active in a sense. Yeah, I was able to really decompress and like just have that sit down time, but also that gave me a chance to get back into things because I was injured. I was sitting down and doing a lot of stuff while doing nothing at the same time. And so that kind of got me active and it kind of got me like in my bag. And of course, like the first night I was like doing a lot, trying to edit the reel and stuff like that. But I think even after that first night, I just kind of put my laptop up and I just was in where we were in that space because I wanted to enjoy that. I knew I wasn't going to get that no time soon. That was like my little mini vacation. So yeah, I feel like I utilized the time great while still on my toes because again, we didn't know like what you guys had planned or what was happening at what time or what time of night. Like there was no like written out schedule of like this is what's gonna happen. We just showed up and it was like good fucking luck. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that with everything that we did do, the difference to me, and I was talking about this with the team, like between the first iteration of the retreat to this one, I think that we kind of showed too much and it took away from what was the objective for each and every person to learn. And so
Mm-hmm.
this go round, I think that we did so much in a lot of moments because you had Joseph to actually kind of intermingle and just have sidebar conversations, and then you had us to kind of talk to, and it wasn't always, it was things that we did around the clock, but it was more of like work of releasing and talking it through, and then us actually getting to know each other and building bonds in such a short amount of time that it really helped. And I was so surprised by all of y'all that there were actually moments when I didn't even expect for everybody to open up as much as they did, but I was happy to see the tears turn to smiles. And one person that definitely did give some tears was JayTee, and he's actually here. So
Oh, JayTee.
I want to bring up JayTee. Hey JayTee.
Hi, how y'all
Hey, my man, my
doing?
man, my man. Just playing. Hey, JayTee.
Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Joseph. Hey, Reese. How y'all doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing as good as I'm gonna be. Just living. I was actually watching the clip prior to jumping up here. I think that was like one of the greatest moments that we had, one amongst others. And like you said, you was tearing up, me too, because it just put me back in that space on that couch with those people and the tape around my mouth, our mouth, and it was just like, damn, like and it makes me appreciate that moment in those moments. So I'm good though.
I know there was an activity that you and King Payne did, and it was a very beautiful moment where y'all kind of shared and he gave you some advice. We are not showing that, you guys, for the sake of this was a personal moment, but it was a really vulnerable moment between you two because he was able to share a previous experience that he had had that you were actually going through. And it seemed like while at the retreat, Joseph was helping you work through step by step your current situation. So,
Correct.
leaving from the retreat, what two pieces of knowledge did you take away to actually, because we all know that you got out of that situation, but what two pieces of things do you think that helped you get through it?
Um, just more so putting me first. And just making sure that, all my T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and never being afraid to leave any situation, no matter if it's you're scared of being independent or you're not financially stable or those things. You just have to worry about you, yourself, your happiness. That comes first. And then everything else after that just falls in line. I think personally that this trip some more than others. I feel like I got exactly what I was going in looking for out of it. And I think that was the start of it. The ending journey was mine. So I applaud you, Joseph, as well as you too, Ressie, for allowing me to be a part of this. And not only that, helping me along the way.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody for being a part. So I know everybody got their own lives
Right.
and everything that they was going through. And I do have a question for all three of y'all because you guys do have a
Can I say
social media.
something real quick
Oh, go ahead.
before you go into the question? So this is what I distinctly remember. After the retreat was over and I got back to DC, after everything was done and over, I literally got a text from JayTee, and JayTee actually sent me an application for an apartment. He moved out like within days of our
Literally.
discussion. Like he was done. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, look, I'm moving forward. Next thing I look up, we start FaceTime. He was like, I moved in my new place. And I'm like, oh, really? It was like literally like a week and a half or 2 weeks after the retreat. He was not playing. And,
It was crazy.
right. And just to go back to Jeremy, I kept this to myself, but Jeremy, I'm going to tell you this. On our way to the retreat from Dallas, I don't know how long that trip was, how long it took for us to get to the actual house or cabin or whatever. This brother was on the phone doing business the whole entire time. So I was like, I don't know if I could ever, because I remember I got in the car, he was like, what's up, how you doing? Yeah, so, I'm thinking, like the whole entire car ride. And I was just like, wow, is he going to be available? Yada, yada, yada. And then as soon as we got there, we started shooting. So I want to say this, you were welcoming, you were very open. And I'm not sure, maybe it was your height. I don't know. It was something. I want to say something to him, but I don't know how to. I was calling my best friends, like, there's one that I really want to like say something to or really do outside of whatever. But you did let me know when the time we would do the interventions that you wanted to talk and that you were open to it. And then looking at the footage I had shared with Ressie, I feel like I should have spent more time with Jeremy, and I kept telling him that, like a year after we shot, like I just wish I would have got more time with Jeremy. But what we did do was great, and then for me, I know that, and this has nothing to do with anybody, but I do know that JayTee and I, we actually talk almost every other day, since that, but not necessarily therapeutic, but it's always check-ins and stuff like that. So I know the retreat did warrant connections and whatnot. And we've actually had some really great conversations, went to some vulnerable places. And even with the loss that I experienced, and I'm not always on as a therapist, everybody reached out to me, including you, Ressie, that were concerned about what was going on with me and everything. So it really fosters some great connections and friendships. That's what I like to say.
I think that that's a very valid point because even these people that may live in the same city, it showed them a different side of each other, especially I believe with King Payne and Jeremy, because they're on a production with each other. They have been on productions with each other before, and they are put in these situations to do something. And with this, it was like, oh no, this is all about me. This is probably the most selfish production that they've been on, where it was like, this is all about me. And the confrontation that we had was not necessarily about, you said this about my mama, you said that about it. It was all about, you're not letting me say what I need to say so I can get to a point of a new beginning or a new healing. Jeremy, to you, and I wish King Payne was here, but how is your relationship with King Payne now, going back to California?
We're good. You know, I saw him for something recently, and we're fine. You know, um, I just think that. Oof, that's such a loaded question. We're good. I will say that. I think that there's growth that needs to happen on everyone's part, and we're good. There's no beef.
The-
There's no beef. Yeah.
it went from fine to good. It went from good to fine, to back to fine to good. Y'all really good?
We just did. So okay. It's so small. It's so small. Okay, so I'm big on giving like friends opportunities and stuff. So I had did a campaign with Adidas, and at last minute
Congratulations.
thank you. I needed a haircut, so I called King. Like, hey, like I got this project going on. It shoots at this time. I need you here at this time. You know, I'll send you the photos. You could use it for whatever. Um, and so he started cutting my hair, whatever. And so it was just timeliness for me when I have things I have to do and sets I have to be at and stuff, like showing up an hour late and like stuff like that. So and then one day it was just like text me 30 minutes after the appointment started, like, oh, I'm not coming. Can you drive to me instead? I just blocked them. And didn't really have much, it was kind of one of those things where it's like my time is messed with. And again, we spoke since then. I don't think he knows he's blocked because we had connected through someone else. But there's no beef. I just think that we just don't need to do business together in that sense when my time is being not being valued. So, but we're good. Like nothing happened besides just like that. So I just kind of found my boundary and that's that.
Okay.
But there's no beef. But now that I said this, it's gonna be a whole thing. He's probably gonna be live. It's gonna be a whole thing. It's probably gonna drag into something else. Oh well.
Because you blocked him.
Should have been there for the haircut department.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a conversation that definitely can be had, though, just for like future, because I think he's talented. I use his products, and him and them utensils with that hair is like no other.
Oh, he's sickening. I stopped using my
Uh-huh.
barber for him, but after the first, second, third time of you being an hour 45 minutes late and then you just not showing up, I think it's okay for me to be like, we could be cool. I'm just not gonna use you for this, nor talk to you right now. So it's okay. But I love King.
Joseph.
Yes, I love King. I love the growth. I loved seeing him. I knew that it was going to be a challenge for King to kind of put the character aside and really open up, which was my only frustration with him because I seen that he was not allowing himself to like put that person aside and really like engulf in what we were there to do. That was my only issue I had with him, and I think that we discussed that when we was outside. I don't know if that was shown because I have to catch up, but I really am like proud of what I seen him do. Even if it was a mustard seed of a jump of some goodness, I'm happy that it happened, and I'm proud of King. I'm glad he was able to do this show and experience that.
Yeah. So, Joseph, what do you think could be a tip that you can give Jeremy to work through this situation with King?
Mustard seed.
Wow, you really asked me that. Wow. I think that sometimes you can be crossed a couple of times when it comes down to when I really need you. And then if the person showed and proved that they can't deliver when they needed to be, particularly when you kind of prepped them and gave them heads up, it's just best that you probably don't do work with them anymore. That's just it. I mean, we're adults. And if I have to explain to you my move, that means clearly you didn't recognize what I've done. And so I think at this point, it's just best to part ways and move on. It doesn't mean that I don't like you. It just means that I have to sever a part of my connection with you because this does not work. It's almost like I have a best friend, not me personally, but you have a best friend who's always calling you with their problems. And the moment you call them just to say, I had a bad day today, they're not available and they consistently do that or they don't want to hear it. After a while, that will be a portion of the friendship that you just won't ever open up to. After you've expressed how much of a problem it is, and then just say they're not present to even care to know or understand or recognize, it's just best to move on that portion of the relationship. And we're adults. We have to get past, if I cut you off in this capacity, that doesn't mean I don't fuck with you anymore. It just means that on this part of it, I'm gonna let you sit out on that part. But everything else, we cool. And it doesn't mean that I have to, exchange recipes with you every day. If I see you, I'm gonna give you a hug, I'm gonna love on you a little bit. But that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that even jumping back to the activity, I think y'all should be able to just have a conversation about that and say, I love you. I'm just not going to come to you in this way to say for the sake of the friendship. So I think maybe that could be a good conversation to have. Question for JT. I know that, in the season, we did show a portion of your Zoom session with Joseph, and you had expressed the situation with basically your coming out story. And then that kind of linked back to your experience with dating and then what you worked through. How is your dating life now?
Oh my gosh. Dating life for me is, it's real. I monitor it at a minimum right now, simply because it's like there's a lot of things that play in factor of this. You have to watch out for certain things that you do with people and giving the wrong impression to them or what they think is the wrong impression, and when in reality you're being very transparent with them and they can accept what you're trying to give them. I think for me, I'm like so careful at this moment as to who I'm dating, what I'm doing with this person, if I'm doing too much, because I hate and I don't want to ever make somebody feel like they are the boyfriend, because there's a difference between dating and boyfriend. And I'm just protecting myself, like peace, everything, because, the last one did a bad one on me. And so, I still even feel like from the retreat, I'm healing a bit. I feel like the healing has gone, but I'm still coming up on my 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think as humans, we're always on our ever changing, growing Richter scale. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. But at the end, we are all learning something. I think too, during that moment, to see Red kind of open up a little bit more was good to see, because I think that he came into the retreat with a little bit of a guard up because it was like people you don't know. And I know people from Memphis are like that, but it was good to see him open up and be able to express himself throughout. And Red is here, so I want to bring Red up.
Red.
Hey,
Hey,
Red.
Red.
What's up?
How you doing, Red?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Doing all right, doing all right. How has everything been with design world and all that good stuff for you?
It go. You have your ups and with any business, you have your ups and your downs. But I'm still floating. You hear me?
Float, float on. We love it. So with Tape In, you expressed you had a very heartfelt moment of things that you expressed about Neiman. And then you also had a moment where Jeremy expressed to you how he felt and everything. When you look back at that moment, have you taken anything into account that you may have said to him, said to Neiman, or that you received from Jeremy for yourself?
Repeat that one more time. The question.
So from what you have, when we did tape in the activity where you had the tape over your mouth, and
Okay.
you started to express to Neiman how you felt about him and what you saw in him, and
hmm
then when you received what you received from Jeremy, did you take anything that you may have said to Neiman or that you received from Jeremy to heart for yourself since the retreat? Like any of that advice?
Yes, I have. I always. I'm a thinker. Sometimes I overthink. So with every situation that I have, once it's over and I'm to myself, I replay that back. You know what I'm saying? And try to, because I'm always trying to be a better me. You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to grow. You know, I'm not perfect. I pops the fuck off sometimes, and you know that it is what it is. It's take it or leave it. But you know, I do try to grow. You know, yeah.
Mhm. What's one activity from the retreat that you just was that you saw was really, really helpful for you?
All of the activities were helpful, but the only thing, like, I'm an in-depth type of person. So me personally, the little time that I did have with Joseph, that is what Slick meant the most to me. Wish I had more time. I was watching, I heard Jeremy say, I wish we could have been there longer. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we didn't finish, you know. We barely
Mm,
scratched the surface.
okay, okay, okay. Go ahead,
What
Joseph. You
Joseph
on mute
say?
though.
Oh
I
no,
don't
no,
know if he was
no!
on mute.
I'm sorry. I was just waiting. I've been learning to take my turn. But with Red, for me, when I first met Red, even looking back at the when the first episode aired, a lot of my friends were like, "Joe, you was flirting with that dude." I'm like, I'm not gonna hold you. He was really cute when he came in the house. And I was like, he's so adorable in his accent and everything. And Red, you kept telling me that we need to talk, we need to talk, we need to talk, we need to talk. And we had our little moments that we could squeeze in and have conversation. And
Hmm.
Red would really take it there too and want to talk and go there. And I think, Red, you were the first one that I exchanged numbers with. And actually, though me and JT talked more outside of the show, Red was the first that I communicated with. We were the first to tap in with one another. So, and he goes there and you go there, I mean, Red. So, I really appreciate how you really came in eager, you know, to want to get something and get into it and everything. I just hate that you showed up late because it just, I know off top that kind of made you feel like what's going on, what did I walk into? Then instantly walking into the door, it became a back and forth with Mr. Jeremy. So it was just like, you know, and that was real. That was not made for TV drama. That was real. And so I just,
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out why this nigga put his foot in my motherfucking head. Red.
overall, I think overall,
Like,
I think, and I will say this. I will say this. One of the most beautiful moments that I remember, and this was outside of taping, was when we made it back to Dallas, and I was taken out on a Dallas day excursion, which became a nighttime excursion. We had to go home and do
mhm.
outfit changes and showers. But when you introduced me, Red, when I seen you at the venue, I think I forgot the name of the place in Dallas.
Marty,
It has the food trucks in the back of the place.
Marty's.
Marty's.
Martin.
Yeah.
Yes. You had this beautiful woman with you. You introduced me to her. You introduced me to the other people that you were with and everything. So I felt really a part. Like,
Mhm.
thank you for that. Because I remember they smiled at me and shook my hand and loved on me too. So I thought that was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that was my daughter.
Like,
She
okay.
pops out every now and again.
Beautiful daughter. I loved it. It was amazing. It was amazing.
That's beautiful. I love that everybody had like a sense of camaraderie
Yeah.
throughout the entire time that we were at the retreat. Y'all keep saying that we should have been there longer, been there longer, been there longer. I'm like, girl, do we need to do a reboot? But with everybody, but I'm just like, I
I
think
mean,
that the
I
time,
low key said we need to do this over. Real talk. Same cast, different location. You know, got to be some changes. But yeah, this need to be because we ain't finished. We just started. Quit playing with us, recent mind.
it's the mind for me. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it. We're gonna think and
Mhm.
see what we can do because I do think that it was so amazing that everybody learned during this time. I think it was just kind of like a good mesh of people. because I learned something. I know True did, CJ did, and then everybody that was actually a part of the cast did, because it was in so many ways a little bit challenging, but it definitely was a big learning experience that I really appreciated. So, JT, what's one activity that we did that you actually enjoyed or took the most from?
Um, it was the me, Jeremy, and Joseph activity. I think for me, because if everybody who's watching now didn't actually grasp, me and Jeremy have known each other for umpteen years, and this was the first physical time that we actually met. Not knowing that we were both going to be in the same house together, walking in, it gave me that sense of comfort, and already having a conversation with Joseph. So for me to be put in a activity with these two allowed me to open up, tears to flow, and me to get real comfortable with these two people. One who I've known for like umpteen years, and another who I've just known, but feels like I've known for the same amount of time. And I think personally, to know somebody that long and to not know the details of this person, that hit and it was almost similar for us, because it hit a nerve with me knowing that he was going through these things, but I also had my things that I was going through as well. I value that, and I will always take that with me forever, Jeremy. I think that like now more than ever, you're never going nowhere. Like we're like Velcro at this point. So like if you think you're going somewhere, like I say, if you die, I kill you. Okay. No, but I really appreciate y'all for that. Seriously.
Yeah. Jeremy, what activity do you think that you took the most from?
It was that one. In the sense of like what JT said, like, and I'll get to that in a second. But that was the first time that I had realized that I had blockage before a certain age. Because remember, JT, he asked us like, when you look at this little boy in this picture, like, what was going through your mind? And I literally was like, I don't know. Like, I still to this day cannot. I have the picture on my stand right here.
Literally, I'm like in New York, but I have those pictures on by my TV. Like,
And I still look at it at times, and I still cannot tell you what the fuck was going through my brain because it's blocked out. And so that activity, although like it was shorter, and I don't think that even made it to the show, but like that part stuck with me, and I learned so much. And even just sitting there watching like JT like kind of open up, it was just a good moment. It wasn't an easy moment because it was still like, do I go there? Like, you're trying to fight being truly honest or just kind of keeping your guard up to kind of just make things look good, So it was like that internal battle. And I think we both were just like kind of like, fuck it. Like we here, might as well just do it. And I learned so much. I think for me, with JT, it was everything kind of came into perspective. Like I started to understand certain things. I started to understand why he would be there 1 second and dip off in the room for 3 hours, or like why although I seen this like really fun, vibrant, smile, bright skinned boy, like in his eyes sometimes I just seen sadness. Although his mouth was smiling, he didn't seem happy. Like everything just kind of like made sense for me. So that activity was like my favorite.
Can I say something? That activity, oh my gosh, I watched that episode a couple of times, and I was informed that's the world of TV. The way it was edited, I guess, with my sound bites, there were people who hit me up and were like, "Why are you being so mean to Jeremy?" And I'm like, I wasn't being mean to him, but they were like, "You were just real, like, right or wrong." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I think it was the way it was edited. And I remember I called you recently and was like, I did not like the way I was talking to Jeremy on that. The way it looked was that Jeremy was trying to open up and I was shutting it down. Right or wrong. Da, 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 da. Give me this. Give me that. And I'm like, that's not who I am. And I was like, I just didn't want to come off that way. Because I thought I was being soft and delicate with him. But I think I took you somewhere and just wanted you to acknowledge it. That's what I was doing. And if I came off as harsh, that wasn't because of any one reason. I think I wanted you to land on something and just kind of deal with what you landed on. You know what I mean? And if we can work out the kinks, that's what I was trying to do. You know?
Yeah, Joseph. No, I never once thought you were too harsh. You could have been harsher. I come from the land of my mentor saying, "Bitch, you look sloppy. Figure it the fuck out." Like, oh, okay, well, I got your replacement sitting outside. Bitch, you look nuts. Like, that's where I come from, and that's where I learned from. So I never once in that entire moment, even when I was wrong and I was being checked, felt as though like you were being too hard. I think you were doing your job. You were catching me going over here, and you were like, no, you're about to make excuses. You're about to do X, Y, and Z. No, answer with that, yes or no. And I was like, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Jeremy, remember he was like, I answer. He said, you're answering too fast.
Yeah. Yes.
It was crazy.
Think about what you're gonna say before you say it. You answer
Right.
That means you got a pre-planned idea in the back of your mind that makes you really process what you need to say.
And I do want to say, I don't know if we even going there, but I do want to let the people know from watching this show, when we were done, I don't know if it was before we went or after we was done, I went out partying with my friends and I bumped into Red out in the street and he saw me in front of the club and he literally told the security guard, nope, that's motherfucking Jeremy. He's cool as fuck. Bring him in the club, have me walk past the line, walk through. So although me and Red had our differences and stuff like that, like I think we see the respect in each other, and he showed me a lot of love when I seen him out in public, and I really appreciate that, because you just never know. You can go through something with someone on a project, and then y'all make up on the project, and then things are different when you're out in the street and when you're out and about. You never know what that energy is going to be. And from then, it's been nothing but love from Red and respect. So I definitely
That's
want to let
that
you know
fake
that I
shit.
noticed that. Oh, it's that fake shit word. I
That's
love
that
it.
fake shit. You know.
I
Anyway.
definitely appreciated that.
I love that. Was that pretty privilege? No, I'm joking.
Ah!
But
That was a
because
good
y'all
one.
is light skinned, but no.
Don't be
Red,
like that.
immediately when you came into the house, Red, it seemed like you and King Payne gravitated to each other. Like really, y'all kind of clicked really, really quickly. What was it about King Payne that you think kind of just was like, oh, I like him?
Well, at first I thought he was put on for TV in the beginning, but then as I got to know him, he's actually a cool person. He's a natural nurturer as I am. So then, I don't know, it was just the vibe, you know what I'm saying? You know, he cool, he live, he lit.
Hmm.
I enjoy a lit live person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
When y'all was in the kitchen and y'all was just over there, y'all was very much, it was giving very Katy Perry and Rihanna at the VMAs, Kiki the entire time over y'all little nook, and I was eating it up, and I was loving to see it throughout the whole time that y'all were in the kitchen, even though it was getting kind of feisty and it was wearing Jeremy out. But but it was good to see that there was like some beginnings of things getting built, which was nice.
Well, can I say something real quick?
Mhm.
Going back to Jeremy, the part that I never caught when Jeremy, when you went into the room, and I'm not trying to bring up the negative stuff, but I always watched that one part that when you went into you came in the room again, and then I think Ressie, you came on camera and was like, come on, and you was trying to get Jeremy out the room, and Jeremy was like, cause a bitch will catch it. And I was like, whoa, I didn't even know that happened. When I watched the video, when it finally aired, I was like, Jeremy really came in there for a problem. You know what I mean? Because initially, because I'm like, he came in there to talk it out. And then when he left the room, he made it clear, oh yeah, somebody will catch it today. I just thought that was hilarious. Every time I watched it, I'm like, I didn't even know that happened. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's a side note. Yeah.
Not praying. I'm crying.
It was some funny moments like that. I don't think a lot of people caught. Like what took me out and what I always like, I could go back and just like see it when y'all were in the kitchen eating the pizza and King Payne knocked over his wine and all you see is JayTee was like
Reese, wait. So remember when me and King Payne were doing that activity and you were like, go through this book and pick out words, and I started writing the whole book down. Like you said, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you writing the whole novel right now? I fell out so bad. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? You like, no, you're supposed to sit here and write. Not all the whole book.
That is so funny. That is so funny. And that was a really deep moment too. So there was an activity for the audience when y'all watch it, or when y'all watch this, where there were specific passages in books that we gave each person to read about themselves that described themselves, and then it was discussed amongst the group. Separate. King Payne and JayTee had their moment, and then Neiman and Jeremy had their moment. And it was some really nice moments that were, I think, should be kept private. Overall, I think that this project was I think that I was joking about it the other day, but Jeremy put it really well by saying this is my fan favorite album. And it was really close to my heart because it was nice to see everybody that were so different just blend really well. So before we get up out of here, I want to just ask you guys individually, if you had to go on another retreat, or if there's anybody out there thinking about going on a retreat, what is a piece of advice that you can give them to take the best out of the situation? Let's start with Joseph.
Be open. Come prepared to really dig deep and do it quickly, and know that the work will never be complete, but you'll open up the door. You will create the crack that you will expand as time go on. You will definitely create a sense of awareness within yourself. I think that the true you is more important than the made up you. And that wasn't directed at anybody on the show, because I know that everybody here has some level of presence and on social media and in entertainment, and know that and I understand that that's what made people love you guys. The general public love you guys, but then there are other parts of you that are human that the general public will adore even more, because they can really feel like they can relate more than you know. So just be ready to work and be ready to dive in and do the things, and don't go anywhere that you are not prepared to expand, because the more you open things up, the more you kind of got to deal with them. Yeah, that's all. And there's something else I can say. JayTee kind of had a moment. JayTee, I'm not sure if you remember, it was about a year ago. You were going off on Instagram, and I logged on and was like, "Hey," and you were like this, "Yeah, bitch," because oh my God, the therapist is on my live. Yeah, like everything you was doing, because I was like, "What's going on?" And you were like this, "Oh my God."
That was like that was just like Diamond at the Players Club when her teacher walked in and she was like, "Oh my God." It was just, yeah.
Right. But then you know what I like? We talked about it. And I wasn't on there to judge you. I just wanted to know what you was upset about. We talked about it. And we had a really big heart to heart. And you sent me a picture that same day. It was like, "Joe, I'm at the gym. I'm working out. I'm doing this. I'm getting on it." Like, it was almost like, instead of doing that, do something to shift your energy, and you instantly got on it. So I thought that was beautiful. So just be prepared and ready to work. I'm proud of everything. I've secretly kind of tapped into all of you guys. I'm more honored that someone has reached out to me from you guys' camps and who love you guys and have said, "Oh my God, I love this person. I seen this person on Beyonce's video. I seen this person on some movie, but not some movie, but I seen him in a film. I didn't know that you knew him." And I'll go, "Yeah, that's my homeboy." You know what I mean? So I think all that's amazing, but just be prepared to get into it and get into the things and know that it's ultimately going to help you.
Thank you so much for that, Joseph. Thank you so much. Going on to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's one piece of advice that you would give to anybody thinking about going to a retreat?
One Piece goes crazy, but I will say, like, just don't fight. Well, one, know who you're going into that process with. Be aware of who you are allowing into your space to guide you in that very delicate space, number one. Then number two, once you have decided to let that person in that space, don't fight the process. And my third thing would be you're not there alone, you're with other people. Healing is not pretty. And so just allow people grace, allow people to kind of go through what they're going through because it's an internal battle for you, so it's an internal battle for them. Y'all gonna butt heads because people are trying to heal, and egos are up, and defenses are up, and it's literally like a warfare. Wow, I can't speak within self
It's like a
while
tongue twister.
having other people around. And so, like, that was the biggest thing I took away from me in Red's situation was kind of like, I feel like I'm trying to prove a point. He's trying to prove a point. We're kind of bumping heads, but then I had to realize, like, we're literally just in this unfamiliar place trying to figure it the fuck out. And he is not my enemy, and I'm not his enemy. And our focus needs to be on that. And the enemy was really just trying to deter us from like what we were supposed to take out of that situation. And so just have grace with the people that's also there with you as well.
Love that. JT, what's a piece of advice?
Just make sure that like if you're going into a retreat that you're just gonna you're gonna give what you expect to get out of it. Honestly, I feel like give your 100% personally. I don't think that you should have step working on yourself and healing because those are the things that's going to make you better in the long run. I think that just, be open, be available, be present. In the words of Neiman, see everybody. We see you. I see you. And just give it your all. I feel like in order to do those things, you just have to be able to accept and also take like constructive criticism because that comes along with it. And just be there. I think, that's where we go wrong at is because we say, oh, we want to do, but it's more so words and then action. But that's all I have to say when it comes to that.
Okay. What about you, Red? What's a piece of advice you would give?
Well, I'm gonna keep it short. Be open. Listen to comprehend instead of listening to respond. That's a big thing. Be aware and be willing. That's it. And be true to yourself. Yeah, that's it.
I love that. I love that. Oh, I thank you guys for coming up. I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all know I don't like to hold y'all too long, but I do appreciate you, Joseph. Jeremy, thank you so much. JT, thank you so much. And Red, thank you so much for coming up and spending some time with me. And thank y'all so much for being a part of the retreat. This is definitely a passion project that I'm gonna keep going. And it seemed like I might have to figure out a way to bring y'all back or something, but we're gonna have to think on it and see what we can do. So I appreciate
business.
Okay, unfinished business.
Yeah, because I want to know why did Red and JT get into it. I never was there. I wanted to know what led to it.
I can't remember.
We'll talk about that some other time.
We're gonna have to think about it. We're gonna have to put something together, but I appreciate all of y'all. Not which time.
I really enjoyed also because Ressie, you had asked one other thing. You said what was one of the activities that we all did that you enjoyed, right? And so I don't know, this is way heavy on my heart. Aside from the Jeremy and me and Joseph thing, it was the last day where the teardrops also. I think that was like to release for me. So, I'm just a rowdy person. That whole weekend we was there together. That was a release for me. So that was really good. Just like throwing away all the extra bad and, carrying on. I think that right there made me leave and go home and be like, this is over. I'm done with you. I'm moving out.
The people didn't really get to see what we really went through because we had some good footage.
We did.
That teardrop, because I don't think I seen that teardrop. And them the little exercises we was doing, we was one-on-one and breaking off and stuff, and most definitely. Yeah. Part two. We need a part two.
I think for me, the teardrop was beautiful for me, and I love the group hug that we did. I did become emotional at the end because it was almost like when you're feeling connected. Right when you're feeling connected, we at the end, and they were moving into the thing and doing the floors and everything. So it was over, but I think that was that moment where I was just like, wow, this was beautiful. Like we all did a big hug and we cracked those tears up, and it was just like, because the assignment was you had to write those things that have made you cry and that have pained you, and we're going to destroy them at the very end. And I thought that was absolutely powerful. So for me, just with the interventions that was put in place, that was the most beautiful one. They all were great, but that was the most beautiful one that I remember. And the hugs felt great. I had about 6 other hearts beating on me, so that felt great.
Love to see it. So there's one more clip that I want to show, and it was a message that Joseph had for the audience as well as for the cast. And I just want to play it real quick, y'all, because I think that it was a very special moment. So
I am remiss if I was to say this. I look on social media and I have friends in this Black gay community where they take trips, they do things, they drinking, they partying, they fucking, they doing whatever. And the reality of it is that these types of retreats are very necessary in order for us all to center ourselves. Some of your friendships could be spatial friendships for competition. Some of your friendships could be riddled in jealousy. Some of our friends that be with us every day could be mad that we didn't have to take the stairs. We took the elevator to our success. So it's very important that we oftentimes come together in this difficult community where a lot of us don't have children. A lot of us live in big empty homes with our dogs and our cats. A lot of us rely on our friends for family. And so when it comes down to the things that we go through, we oftentimes need a circle of people that we can have those healthy, beautiful, vulnerable experiences with that can help us become better people. We've lost a lot of people in the last few years, and it's necessary that we stop making going distant from one another a normality. We have to learn how to connect. We have to learn how to be open and honest. We have to be able to have that good Judy that we can tell the absolute truth to. We have to stop living in silence based on our own sexual exploits and being in fear of being judged. We have to be able to put ourselves in a situation where therapeutic healing, openness, trusting friends, safe spaces are no longer just a statement on social media, but a real thing. So, what do I recommend? People, therapists, coaches, spiritual advisors, mentors. Access them. Open up to them. A therapist works for you. If you're not comfortable with them, find another one. A coach works for you. If you're not comfortable with them, find another one. A spiritual advisor is for you. If you're not comfortable, find another one. It's a journey. And once you find that piece to connect, you'll always have an open space where it's non-judgmental, where you can learn how to be better for you. I think it's necessary that we have more open conversations with one another. I think it's necessary that we stop talking so much about death and dying and acceptance and learn how to love on ourselves first, because we won't be so concerned or consumed with who loves us or who accepts us best. I think it's necessary that we unpack and we look at those things that may have broken us. And it's not about healing them and being perfect. It's about looking at them for what they are and pouring love and pouring patience and pouring all of those beautiful things that you need to mend those broken spaces in your life. Now, they'll mend. There'll probably still be a scar there, but that will be the strongest part of you. Ownership. That's the most important thing. I want to say that you deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to feel sad. You don't deserve to feel uncertain and anxious. You deserve to be the best person that you were destined to be. And it's unfair to wake up daily and not know what's next for you. Stay beautiful, because you are.
Uh,
What they say? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's the now. Yeah. 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 Okay.
I thank y'all so much for joining this live. That was such a special moment. I definitely want to talk to y'all backstage for a second, but I just want to say a few things really, really quick, and I'll see y'all in a minute. So, um, I have to say that this project was so important to me for so many different reasons. And I really have to just take a moment and thank everybody who was on this journey with me because it was not easy. Um, just with all the ridicule that I experienced publicly and privately, everything that I had going through, that I had gone through. Putting this project out was really therapeutic for me because during the time of the process, um, most you may or may not know, I did lose my mom. And to me, this was a full circle moment because my mom always would cherish people being in a house together and loving on each other. And you may go through some things, but as long as you don't go to sleep mad and before you leave the house, you have moments to really fix whatever the problem is. That's all that really um, matters. And I'm not gonna cry, but it's really important. And I thank each and every person that came along with us on this journey because a lot of people said that we wasn't going to be able to do it. A lot of people left me during this journey, but I'm so happy for those that stayed. So, from my heart to you guys out there watching, I thank you on behalf of your voice. This is just the beginning, and I can only prepare myself for what's to come. And the higher you go, of course, the air gets thin, but I'm going to keep on trucking up that mountain for the sake of my community and for the sake of each and every person that has supported me. So I thank you all, and I will see y'all next time.